Today I want to show you all that is growing inside my garden. I am about 3 weeks past last frost today, and so I want to show you everything that can be growing when you're 3 weeks past frost too. That's a mouthful. And what I'm harvesting, what I'm planting, all the good stuff. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Nicole Burke. I am the founder of Gardenary and the author of Leaves, Roots, and Fruit and Kitchen Garden Revival. So first up, we have these two quart and steel containers. I added these last minute to the garden. And here's what's happening. We have some violas here. I have some other things that I grew from seed. I have some calendula that's starting to come up. I have some tulips that are finishing up. I've got this awesome Swiss chard I just harvested from today. I added some peppers in here. I also tucked in a little tomato just for fun. I've got some cilantro that's bolting. We've got lavender here. We've got some snapdragons that are just really starting to take off. I've got these strawberries that are starting to flower like crazy, and some other strawberries that are actually starting to form. And then just a few more flowers. This is some fennel and some dill there at the end. This container here is the exact same, but just an imitation. You can see my lavender is starting to flower, which is super exciting. And my calendula is really starting to take off. I started this from seed indoors, so it's so fun to see it coming to life. Peppers and tomatoes in here as well. All right, if you haven't seen my viral herb planter, here it is today. It is coming along nicely. I did a huge harvest of this container and just added some fresh basil because the initial basil that I planted, it died in a frost. So we're starting over, but everything else I'm happy to report is happy and harvestable. So next we have our first two big beds. I've got lots of peas growing up the arch trellis. I just did a big harvest this morning. I got about 1 bowl full. I've just added tomatoes on all sides of the arch trellis. I love to grow tomatoes up the arch trellis. If you haven't seen those videos, you got to watch. And so I just will add those to the trellis as soon as the peas are finished. Along these fronts, I've got lots of herbs. I've got chives. I've got some beautiful oregano coming back from last year, some dill, more snapdragons. So snapdragons have really taken off recently. My Swiss chard is looking so happy. More tomatoes on this side, more peas. And then if you look on the outer side of these beds, I have some garlic. I have some more cilantro. I'm doing rows of tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers. Then I also have Napa cabbages that are finishing up and some more cilantro that's going to seed. Back here, I did try to tuck in some sweet peas. They haven't started to flower for me yet, but we will see. This is my first year attempting sweet peas. I started these indoors and they're coming along, but quite slowly. I've had this lettuce I've been harvesting from almost every few days. This one I guess I forgot last night and left it in the garden accidentally, but I had the most delicious salad last night. It was awesome. Toscano kale is really taking off. The flowers have been wonderful this spring, and you can see this red lettuce is just so vibrant and so healthy. Lots of peppers and tomatoes tucked in here. Next up, I'm doing something fun this year. I planted my potatoes in these whiskey barrels, and they are looking spectacular. You can see all the potato plants have now covered the barrel, which was definitely my goal. This bed was radishes and garlic, and I recently pulled almost all of the radishes, I think all of them, and started to replant for the warm season. So now we have peppers, eggplant, and some watermelon that I'm going to train out of the beds, as well as some more calendula that was started from seed, and I think this is some chamomile as well. I tucked in some bare root strawberries in here too, and they'll come up later. But I just thought they can kind of do their thing while the other plants are growing. They can kind of get established in the shade. This bed is just about done for the cool season. It is done. This spinach is starting to bolt, so this will come out. The garlic is very happy, so I'm going to have to come up with another idea of what I'll plant in here. I tucked in some cucumbers that are starting to grow up the trellis. They'll be up the trellis for warm season. And I'm gonna probably put some arugula or some other warm season green here at the base of the garlic. Over here, speaking of arugula, we have a ton of it that's all gone to seed. So I planted this whole bed with just arugula seed, and you can see now it is crazy. So I've just been letting this be here for the bees and the butterflies, but I'm going to pull this out, cut it at the base, and then just replant the bed entirely. And then back here is a bed that is lettuce and a couple of leftover winter beets. We just pulled the first beet this morning, which was unbeatable. And then these lettuces are pretty much finishing up. I hate to give up this bed because I love, love, love lettuce so much, but it's just about time to turn this over to warm season plants because we're getting hot out here. All right, now we're in the back two beds, and these are the least sunny beds of the garden, but hopefully they'll encourage you. You can see how we have shade from trees. They really get afternoon sun, but not morning sun. We've got lots of fennel, we've got oregano, the snapdragons again, kale and parsley, we've got tomatoes. This was a bush pea. I have to say I accidentally planted a bush pea back here, kind of bummed. But it's just about finished up. We've had a lot of peas off of this one. These are peas overwintered. They made it through frost and they are finally starting to do a little something. I tucked in some tomatoes back here. If you look on this side, I have loads of mustards, some kale. I have more snapdragons. I've got lots of onions that are coming along. And then you can see these tomatoes are loving this late afternoon sun, and these peppers are as well. So eventually we'll have a line trellis here to support all these tomatoes. Then we've got oregano, fennel, Swiss chard, and on this side we have very similar to this one, but we do have some more parsley. We have carrots, and then some purple mustards that came up from winter. I planted these purple mustard seeds back in November. They just started to do their thing. And then we have all this bok choy that is going to seed. So it's basically time for it to come out. But the cool thing about that is I pulled a couple the other day and made the most delicious stir fry. So if your greens are going to seed, a great thing to do is stir fry them. The flavor is still great, and you don't get, as much peppery flavor as you would if you ate it raw. So that is just about it. That's the end of the beds. So I have, in my garden, I have 4 4x8 beds. So that would be 64, that's 128 square feet of the big beds. And then I have 4 basically 4x4 beds. So that's another like 64 square feet. So I'm almost at 200 square feet of raised beds, not quite. And then around my garden, I have native plants and lots and lots and lots of potatoes. So I'll do another video for all these native plants, but they really help support the garden. They provide food for wildlife, for bees and butterflies, and also just give this nice wild barrier around the formality of the kitchen garden. So thank you so much for taking this tour of the kitchen garden with me. Stick around. We have so many resources at gardenary.com. We have classes, we have workbooks, we have raised beds and trellises, and we have plenty of ways to support you. So go check us out at gardenary.com, subscribe to our channel, and follow along for more kitchen garden updates all year long.